Hey guys, this is Morey Croson here from the Performance Lab of California doing another breakdown here today. We got a request to do Matthew Stafford. Thought that would be a good idea. So here it is. We're going to do a good little breakdown of Matthew Stafford. I think that really what people want to see with Matthew Stafford is a deep ball. Obviously, the big appeal for him is his arm strength, how far he can throw the ball, how really hard he can throw the ball. So figured we might as well start with a deep ball. And I also made a request about, playing the whole throw through. So we're going to do that a couple times here. You can see how he kind of loads, what kind of his whole thought process is in his technique. You can see, with this deep ball that he really allows that left shoulder, that front shoulder to rise up. Takes a little bit longer stride, really gets a lot of lateral force. I think that this is an important part if you're going to develop powers. Look at how much movement he gets to the side as he's really loading up, getting ready to create this throw. And then he uses all that momentum, all that side, moving in the lateral plane to really generate this throw as he comes through. Now you can see he gets a lot of hip rotation as he transfers all that weight forward, and he goes and really, with that front leg, he actually extends off of that front leg and almost jumps up in the air. So you can just tell, one of the big things I try to tell people all the time is it's about your legs. It's about how much force you can create in your legs. It's about how much force you can create in the core. And just with when he's going through his throw, you can just see how smooth those are. I mean, there's a lot of guys that have strong arms, and I think Matthew Stafford probably has a lot of good arm biomechanics and stuff like that, but I think he would even tell you himself that it comes a lot from what he does in the lower body and what he does in the legs. And you can see, again, how, pressing off that ground helps him, being able to get that big rotation, the hip helps him. He does a little bit of a side lean there as well, but overall, it's a big hip drive in order to make it so he can get as much force as he can. And I like, Aaron Rodgers does this as well with the longer throws where they go and transfer on the front leg and then they'll push up off the ground with that front leg, which I think is very, very interesting. In order to get a little bit more force there. Okay, we got another throw here. Okay, another idea. So I'm going to go and play the whole thing again here. So one of the things that's interesting with him, though, is he has kind of a lower throw point, right? You can see that elbow stays kind of low, and he does get a little bit more trunk, a little bit more rotation in the spine into the actual ball. Still, though, he's getting a lot of lateral movement first, so he's shifting his weight forward there, and then once he's here, he's really corking with those hips to then get that upper body going. That's what they talk about with the whole hip and shoulder disassociation, is you need to get those hips going first, and then the spine goes, and then the arm goes, okay? They might all hit end range of motion at a specific time and more in line, but when everything is, when you're going to throw the actual ball, your hips should be in line, your shoulder should be in line, and the ball should be aligned. But the hips really lead the trunk, and then the trunk leads the shoulders, and then the shoulders lead the hand. It's kind of similar to what they talk about in golf. Really the same type of thing. It's that the hips go first, and then you go shoulders, then you go hands. Okay, we're going to look from a different angle here at that same throw, where we can see more of the side. So he's loading back here. He shifts that weight. He takes a little bit longer stride. And so because he's able to take a longer stride, he gets a lot of weight shift in that actual step. Okay, see how that's happening there? That's what happens when you get that longer stride. And then he also has a pretty low elbow compared to most guys. And that's because he's using more trunk. But still, from this position, you can see those hips start to turn, and then that turns the upper body, and then that's what flings the ball through. Okay, so, I think some interesting things that you could take away from here is, this is the first guy that's really a long stride guy that really takes that really far, deep stride and throws the ball. I guess Russell Wilson also has a pretty long stride. And then another thing is he's going to keep that ball low, and he's going to use a lot of that trunk to really get him going. So he's going to lean over to the side and also lean pretty far forward when he really has to create a lot of force. But in order to do this and do this effectively, you've got to have a strong hip, and you've got to be able to get some lateral movement. And you can see where he's getting his lateral movement is in that longer stride, that longer step. Helps him get that weight shift, and then from there it's hip rotation. Again, I think the big point is hip rotation leads the trunk rotation, even though he still has a lot of trunk rotation, uses that that upper body a lot. It starts with the hips. Okay, and I think it starts with the hips and core, and I think that's an important message to really take away from this. So as always, thanks for watching these breakdowns. We're going to try to make these a little bit more scientific here, coming pretty soon, where we could start to get some good force numbers, some good actual data behind the range of motions for the different quarterbacks. When we do that, we'll probably go through and do a lot of these guys again, which I think will be really exciting. But as always, if you like the stuff, check out our membership. We got a lot of cool stuff on our membership. We're always updating that with new exercises for helping you throw better as a quarterback, and then also new information for what's the right technique, what are different ways in your mechanics that you can improve. So that's always good. And then also check out our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're always posting up these new videos. We want to make it so we can give as much value to the average quarterback out there, and make it so you guys could really be in a good position to succeed. So let me know if you guys have any questions. My email is Morey, Morey, at yourperformancelab.com. Once again, Morey, Morey, at yourperformancelab.com. Always, thanks again for watching, and we will see you soon.